All right, chat room, here we go.
You're listening to a podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants with hosts Willie Dills, Chad King, and Ben Lee.
Let's go Giants! Giants! Let's go Giants! Giants!
Dedicated to the greatest team in Major League Baseball history, the San Francisco Giants. This is TortureCast.
We're standing on top, not gonna stop. We came to play. Ain't slowing down, pulling on. We're here to stay. And we're stopping off whatever's in our way. I'm feeling like a Giant tonight.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the TortureCast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. Everyone who's listening live just heard this actually happen live. The intro played. Chad, you're doing an amazing job. My name is Willie Dills, and this is the live episode of the TortureCast, the first one ever. It's episode number 68, and the cool thing about tonight is, well, not only is there an exciting and hard-fought game going on between the normally sad sack Colorado Rockies for most of this season, but suddenly playing very well Colorado Rockies. But also, you can call in tonight and speak to us if you want to do that. Well, first, let me introduce Chad King, and then we'll give you all the information on how to call in. Chad, what's up, dude? Welcome.
What's going on?
Sorry, man.
That's right. Chad can do sound drops. He can do the whole thing. He's DJ Chad tonight.
Hey, man, this is fun. I'm here playing with my mixer and my iPad and like 3 computers, so it's going to be a little bit of an experiment tonight, but I really appreciate everybody who's tuning in to check us out, and if this works out well, maybe we'll do a few more of these.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we might as well just do them all live at this point, no matter what. Whether or not we get a lot of people calling in, that's yet to be seen. But for now, if you do want to call in, it's pretty simple. The number is 415-799-SFG1, 415-799-SFG1. We'll just kind of start doing the show here, and we'll go through some of our normal stuff, and then basically, if you guys call in, I don't know, at this point, we're just kind of going to take the calls when they happen. I mean, what the hell? What else are we doing here, huh?
Wow, not much.
So, unfortunately, Ben Lee's not here because word on the street is he's at the Gotham Club. I don't know if that's actually happening. Did that really happen?
That's what he said. He said he was getting in there, so I think he's going to go ahead and rub the essence of Barry Bonds, who was in there earlier this week, on his bowling balls, and see what happens.
I got to hear all about this place because it sounds amazing. For people who don't know what the Gotham Club is, it's an exclusive club for season ticket holders who also pay an extra fee, who can then go and hang out in this place that has a cigar bar, bowling alley, pool table, a full bar where you can order drinks and cocktails and whatnot, and hang out at the ballpark. I'd want to be in my seat for the game though, but before and after the game, this sounds awesome.
Totally. I mean, chill out before the game, throw a couple games. Bowling, I don't know if you could hang out afterwards. I think for the cost of the ticket, I think you should be able to do that.
Should be able to, at least for a few hours, avoid the traffic and whatnot, right? So.
Yeah, no, I got to imagine most of the people in there are just hanging out, watching it on the TVs, kind of poking out once in a while. It's even worse than a luxury suite. You got your own bathroom and all that. It's great, but, man, it's a little bit of a distraction there.
Yeah, it's something like $2,000 for the year, I think.
Something like that. Oh, geez.
Something like that. It's on top of the price of your already existing season tickets. I don't know if anybody knows exactly what the story is. I basically saw that it's something that I'm not allowed to do and kind of stopped paying attention at that point. But we were talking about Lincecum being removed from the rotation. Yes. So I guess my first question to you, Chad, is how do you feel about this move from a non-fan standpoint, just from a strategy standpoint? Did he wait too long to make this move? Is it even the right move to make right now?
I mean, it's definitely the right move to make. I think he did perhaps wait, maybe 1 or 2 starts too long. He had that wonderful start in 4 starts in the middle of the year where he had 1 earned run in 30 innings. He found something, and then he completely lost it. I mean, the dude is, 1-3 with a 9.49 ERA in his last 6 starts with 5 home runs allowed. That's just that's unacceptable. And, every game's going to count down the stretch, so they got to do something, and I think that was the correct call. So
it's a huge liability.
Yeah,
it's a huge liability throwing that guy out on the mound right now, and it
the point
sucks.
now where you feel like, instead of happy Lincecum day where you're thinking you're going to win, a couple years ago, now it's, oh shit, we're going to lose this one, no doubt.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point where you're dreading his turn in the rotation. I'm not even sure whose turn you're really looking forward to right now. It doesn't seem like anybody's consistently winning. It's not like guys are all pitching terribly, but we don't have that guy. Even Bumgarner's starts are rough, So it's like I don't know even if we get to the playoffs unless some of these guys just figure it out all of a sudden and just get hot all at the same time. What teams are we going to beat with our starting rotation the way it is? We have to get to the bullpen with a lead at this point, and that's asking quite a bit. So, yeah, I don't know. I think obviously we waited too long. I don't know if necessarily the right thing to do is completely give up on Lincecum yet as a starter this season, because you're talking about having Petit be the starter the rest of the way.
Right.
And maybe Lincecum comes out and does gangbusters out of the bullpen again, and then the move just kind of makes more sense. But maybe you just have him miss one or two starts. Throw a couple out of the bullpen.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about right now, is that this may or may not be a permanent move. It's going to be kind of a wait and see. Apparently, something to do with his mechanics, blah, blah, blah. I mean,
it's always his mechanics,
exactly.
Right?
I mean, he's not hurt.
Can't find his arm slot, can't whatever, yeah.
Could be his brain mechanics. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he's got to work on something. So they're going to kind of see how Petit does and then monitor Lincecum throwing on the side, coming out of the bullpen.
What are you noticing from Lincecum that can you see anything in these last 6 starts? It's just been so bad. I mean, we've seen him have rough stretches.
Well, that great stretch
this seems especially.
I mean, his accuracy was he had great command of all of his pitches, but specifically his fastball. And I think during this stretch, just like in previous stretches, bad stretches, he's completely lost command of that fastball. He doesn't even throw it where he wants to. You see, Susac or previously Sanchez lining up, inside and he's throwing it outside and vice versa. And
that's the thing. I wish it was just getting it. Like sometimes you'll watch him pitch and he's just leaving everything up, which means not getting. He's getting underneath the ball. He's not actually finishing the pitches. He's releasing the ball just a touch early, things like that. But this is inside outside. He can't get that accuracy either. So it's just all over the place right now. And yeah, that to me says that it's not something that's easily fixable. This isn't something he can go out there and find one thing that he's not doing correctly, fix that one thing, and suddenly he'll be okay. This is just complete erratic location. And that's I think the biggest concern is he looks lost. He looks completely lost. And it doesn't look to me like some magic's going to make him find it again. So, it may just be that we've seen the last of Tim Lincecum as a viable starter in San Francisco, and it's a sad thing. It's really sad. I guess some people might be happy now that we never committed to a giant long-term contract because obviously he didn't want to do that either. But it seems like dodging a bullet at this point, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. And I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how Petit does, during this stretch. In fact, speaking of Petit.
Yeah, I mean, we got to mention what's going on with him.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I knew he had a streak going. I had no idea how long it was and how close he is to history.
And are these all relief appearances, by the way?
Yes.
I feel okay. So he hasn't even spot started in a little while. So he's basically the other day. I remember someone had tweeted out. It might have been the Giants Pod guys that he basically did the equivalent of a reliever's perfect game because he's been perfect for a while now. So let's just throw it out here. 38 consecutive batters retired by Petit.
That's incredible. I mean, that's a perfect game plus 11 batters.
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah. I mean, I know it was, Panik almost had a gapper there. Oh, man, that would have been nice. Right now, the Giants have a runner on first with nobody out, and Panik lined one to right field. Solid contact, but it was an out, so.
Yeah, Panik, we're running out of outs here, but Panik has still showed signs that he's just one of the hottest Giants for a long time right now, so that's good news at least. But yeah, so 38, and the record is 45 by Mark Burley. That's
45, Mark Burley. That's everyone combined starts and relief appearances. That's just the ultimate record. The reliever or the record by a reliever is by Bobby Jenks in 2007 with 41. But of course, Petit goes out there, he's going to be a starter, so I guess that doesn't add to that. My question is,
interesting.
if he goes through his next start and he doesn't, tie Burley or even Jenks, but that's as a start, right? So, like, next time he comes in as a reliever, does that add on? I'm wondering, because this doesn't count as a reliever.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so if he does go out there and he gives up a hit, but as a starter, would you still consider the consecutive batters record for relieving count the next time he comes in for a relief appearance? I guess you would have to, honestly.
Yes, I mean,
it's a technicality and it's a pretty big one. But
clearly Bobby Jenks never started a game, at least not during that stretch. I mean, he was their closer, but anyway, 38 in a row. That's just something that's insane.
Yeah, so all he has to do, if he were to come in as a reliever one more time, he'd have to throw one more good inning, and he would tie the record for relievers. We've seen, obviously, the guy is capable. 1 out away from a perfect game, all that stuff. We all remember that. And he seems like he's throwing with a lot of aggressiveness right now. He looks like he's fired up when he's throwing, and he's hitting his spots. He's leaving balls, in the dirt when he wants to. Everything is low around the knees, and it's you can't really ignore, how well this guy has thrown. So how do you keep him out of the starting lineup right now? And when you've got a guy struggling as bad as Lincecum is struggling, this just seems like a no-brainer move. So good luck to him. I hope it would be amazing to have at least some good news. A major league record being broken could maybe give us a little bit of a spark, and who knows? It does feel a little late. I think we may have lost more ground than we might be able to make up for, no matter how good this guy goes out and throws as a starter. But I'm glad to see Bochy at some point pull the trigger on this. People have been asking for this for a little while now. Not even just this season, for quite some time.
Yeah, quite some time.
How do you feel about the future of Lincecum as a reliever? Do you think that would actually shift his career and he could pull the Eckersley thing and suddenly become one of the top relievers in the game?
He hasn't shown any struggles in the bullpen at any time in his career. I know it's a limited, sample size, but
it's the postseason in 2012, and it's one save this year.
Yeah, one save this season. So obviously we're talking playoffs, and you got the adrenaline, and you got all that stuff going on. So that's a part of it, but if he can kind of harness that energy and that commitment, I would say, of like, I just got to go out and I got to retire 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. That's it, because he's not going to be a specialist, clearly. He's going to be either a setup guy, maybe in the long-term future, a closer. I don't think he's ever going to be, well, unless his career really plummets, demoted to long relief, like a Petit or something like that. But, I think it's completely possible, because he can basically burn 110% when he goes out there. I think when he goes out to start right now, it might be in the back of his mind he needs to kind of hold back a little bit to try to conserve his fuel and make sure he has enough stamina to go out there, because as we all know, he's often throwing very, very long innings because he has high pitch counts, because he's all over the place. But if he can really commit, a couple miles extra on that fastball, a little more oomph on his cutter and four-seamer and his slider, I think that's really going to help. Not to mention his change might be more of a differential between those. So I do think that. And Bochy's been asked that in the past, and he said, I could absolutely see Lincecum as a high-quality reliever in the future, but right now he's a starter. And this is just a couple months ago.
Yeah. To me, I mean, I wish that I could say, going all out would probably fix it, but I think even if he went out right now and went all out the first 2 innings, he still wouldn't throw well. I don't know, just the way it looks, but it's a different mentality, and who knows? I don't think it can't hurt, and right now any change is good change when you're talking about Timmy. So we're all rooting for him, obviously, but my hopes are not high. All right, let's talk about Brandon Belt, because this is also another big deal. We'd gotten word that maybe he was gone for the rest of the season. That news cropped up. Then it was switched to no, he'll just be out for 10 to 15 more days, and he should be able to come back after that. What kind of Belt are we even going to get back at this point? So far, every time he has come back, he's hit the ball. Even after all this concussion stuff, he came back and hit the ball okay.
No, he hit the ball fine. I'm just a little worried. Just him as a
person,
human being.
Right? Yeah.
As we talked about last episode, these things tend to kind of linger on a little bit longer than we had thought, and that is a sign of bad things going on in his head right now, and completely not his fault. And the irony is, I found out this week, I didn't realize this before. I didn't know if it was made public. Maybe you knew this, but it was Marco Scutero who threw that ball that hit him in the face.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And, it's just like
I did not know this.
The irony of the fact, and there we go.
Yeah, Giants lose.
Brandon Crawford had
Strikes
a chance
out.
to atone for his 2 errors.
Yeah.
Up with 2 outs, and he struck out. So 0 for 4 day. So the Giants lose 3-2 to the Rockies. Oh man, that sucks. That was a loss they should not have had tonight.
No, I mean, the when you make that many errors and then they fought so hard to stay in the game and just never push a run across. We had a couple opportunities there. Arias got to second base on a throwing error. Couldn't get him home. Right now the Giants are just anemic and feels bad. Feels bad.
Rockies, blah blah blah, but they also
last place Rockies, everybody. Last place Rockies.
Yeah, they've won 4 in a row at AT&T. Of course, we were there witness to the first of that, those 3 horrific losses back in what was that, July, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so who are we talking about? Oh, Brandon Belt.
Yes.
So yeah, the irony is that Marco Scutero, who by the way is now out for the year.
Yeah, officially.
Plagued second base position that we've had for the last few years is the
and who was signed for 1 more year, but
is the one who took out our first baseman.
Yeah.
And which really, to me, significantly altered this season. Now, it's not like we would have 10 more wins right now, but I really do believe that with Brandon Belt, we'd have a couple more wins. There's no doubt in my mind.
I think by now at least 2 to 3 more wins. And 2 to 3 more wins is a big deal if you look at it right now. So, the difference between being 4.5 or are we now 5 back? I didn't see what the Dodgers did today, so. But, when you're talking about 5 games or less in the standings, a couple wins here and there really makes a big difference because it's picking up a full game.
Well, we got a call coming in right now. You want to take it?
Oh yeah, let's go for it.
All right, here we go. Hello, you're live on TortureCast. Who is this?
Oh, it's Michael. How are you?
Hey, Michael. How are you?
Oh, good. Oh, this game was frustrating. Jesus.
Yeah. It looked good for a moment, and then it looked really, really bad.
Yeah, I don't know when the last time a team has won a baseball game with 4 errors, but hey, it's like 4 turnovers in football. You can't win. You can't put yourself in a position to win. You can't play like this down the stretch. It's different when you're playing like this in April. This is August. There's not that many games left. These are teams that we should be winning, and if they're going to make a run, they need to start playing better baseball. Not making 4 errors in a game would be a good start. But
yeah, right now it feels like players we used to be able to rely on are just it's a collective effort right now. It's not just one guy. It sucks to watch guys like Hunter Pence go out there and play their hearts out, and the team can't rally around them, and he's just the only guy right now doing it. Even guys like Buster Posey or Scufflin, he had one really good game recently, but it's been a struggle for almost everybody else. And it's frustrating as Giants fans definitely to watch. Do you have a question for us, or I think you called while I was not on the air, right? So
yeah, you were kind of getting set up. I was just gonna say, remember the beginning of after the All-Star break, Bochy switched the pitching lineup up. So Tinney was going number 2, and now he's in the bullpen. So I don't know. It just kind of the inconsistency, I guess, of our starting staff, I guess, is not as there as we'd like it to be, which kind of sucks right now. But I don't know. Even if we go into the playoffs, if we make it, I think there's a big question mark, and we're going to be kind of hobbling in a little bit with injuries and guys. And I don't know. It's not the last 2 runs of 2-10 and 2-12. We've been able to win games in August, in September, or make a good run at the end, and it's I don't see that with this team. What do you guys think?
So I was actually just bringing this up with Chad, because you made a good point there. Even if we get to the playoffs right now with the with the pitching staff we have, and then you look at the staffs that we're going to go up against, and especially when you get to the playoffs and you can drop your fifth starter and you go with your strongest four, the Giants would basically be dropping, a fifth starter to not even improve their their starting rotation right now. Like, no matter who you drop, you're not improving. So.
Yeah, exactly.
The matchups just don't look good, no matter what team we end up going against. Obviously, you still want to say make the playoffs and anything can happen. But, it doesn't feel to me like any matchup right now. There's no team I can look at and say, yeah, I feel good about us versus that starting rotation. There's not a single team right now in the National League I could say that about.
No, I think it's going to have to take a remarkable run here by the Giants. They have to go 22-11 before tonight to get to 90 wins, which I think is kind of the benchmark for making the playoffs. Now that's 22-10, so that's more than 2 out of every 3 games. And playing like this with 4 errors and just the anemic offense, they're just not going to do it. So they're going to have to have a serious closed door team meeting, I think, to do something, throw some sunflower seeds at each other. I'm not sure.
At this point, I don't even know if the sunflower seed showers are going to do it for the Giants.
Well, the other thing, too, is, you kind of look toward the future a little bit, too. You kind of get a glimpse. I mean, I'm liking Susak. I think he's young and, he's been able to pick up, Posey when he's not catching. And just his ability as a catcher and as a hitter, he's actually doing well. And same with Panik. So that's promising for the future. But with that in mind, also, comes free agency in the off season. What do you guys think? What's your gut feeling say with some of the guys that are free agents? Who do you think we retain, and who do you say, thanks for everything, but we need to move on?
I think at this point the Giants team is going to look very different next season.
Mm-hmm.
I think Morse might be a guy you talk about holding on to just based on the fact that, I don't see much else out there. But I think we're going to see a lot. He may move into the first base role if Belt never comes back. And, obviously we've got Pence locked up. And it's just there's a lot of spots right now that I feel like this team could look. And I really think the pitching rotation is probably the number one thing, though. It's right now we've gone from being one of the top rotations in baseball, just 4 years ago to being middle of the pack, and that's a positive spin on it right now. So I think we're going to see a lot of movement in the rotation. There's still obviously a few shining spots, but I think there's a few things. Pablo, I think, becomes more of a priority now that the rest of the team just doesn't look like they can pull their weight. So there's a couple of guys you really want to hold on to, just because of how poor some of the other slots on the field have been. But yeah, there's going to be some movement. It's going to be kind of a shakeup, especially if we don't make the playoffs.
No, I think Pablo is kind of the key guy right now. I mean, Michael Morse obviously only has a 1-year contract. He's going to be key as well. He loves his team. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't want to come back other than some other team throwing a ridiculous amount of money at him. But he's among the team leaders in all of the offensive categories, and losing him, I mean, who are they going to replace in left field again? Obviously his defense is suspect, but there's no one coming on the free agent market that they're really going to, be key for that is a good replacement for him. And same with Pablo at third. So I think those are 2 key pieces they have to keep for their already pretty pathetic offense, especially most recently. But I can't foresee calling up more guys like these Paniks and Susaks and others to fill in those gaps. Otherwise, this team is just going to be the AAA team of the future. They definitely need to put the finger in the dike, and hopefully Scudero. I mean, I have no hope for him next year. Maybe miraculously he comes back, but Panik himself has proven to be, at least in the short term, a pretty good replacement. He's hit over 400, or he's hit 400 coming into today for the month of August, which is pretty damn good. So, but pitching is going to be key, especially with Lincecum now, perhaps being relegated to reliever status, although I don't think that's going to continue into 2015 because of his salary. They're going to obviously put him back in the starting rotation to see how he does, at least at the beginning of next year. But you got Romo, who is out. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, unless everyone passes on him and he kind of cycles back to the Giants for a bargain, I think he's gone. I think, well, obviously Hembry's gone. He was traded. So closer is going to be another issue as well, and there's some big question marks coming up. But the season's not over yet. We're talking like maybe they're not going to make the playoffs, but I think St. Louis beat Pittsburgh tonight. Did Atlanta win? I believe they did. I'm not 100% sure, but regardless, they're right there in the wild card hunt. I think the National League West is going to be extremely difficult to win this year, but they gotta start looking for the next few weeks instead of 2015 at this point. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think you're right. It's kind of just seeing how the future could hold. You kind of always have to you always have that little cloud in the back of your mind going, what's going to happen next year? It's because it's August and you're like, okay, what's going to happen? But I mean, if we're going to make a run, we seriously have to play better baseball. It's the defense. We're known as a really good defensive team, and at one point, the first part of the season, everyone was talking, Crawford could get a Golden Glove, and now he's like leading the league in errors. So it's like, how did that happen?
Yeah,
It's
now, so that's pretty bad.
It's just sometimes I think we just, I don't know, they try hard to like win, but then they also do a really good job of putting them like not helping themselves win, and they find a way to lose. And of course you can always bark at the umpires because that's easy to do too. But bottom line, when you have a 4 in the E column, or a 2 or 3, that doesn't help you because those things come up at the wrong time, and you end up feeling our fate at the 6th, 7th, and 8th inning.
Yeah, I agree, and thanks for the call, by the way. Good to have you call in, man. It's fun doing a live show. You guys can actually participate. This is really cool. But no, I do want to point out that we thought that we had shortstop sewn up. We thought we had several of these positions sewn up, and first base, that was supposed to be rock solid for the season, and some unexpected things have happened. Obviously, we did not expect Crawford to melt down defensively, but I think the issue right now for us is that we're in an odd spot where we can't give up on the season, even though maybe it feels like we're supposed to.
Hey, by the way, I have the sandboard sitting here, so I got to play with this a little bit. So Crawford.
Okay. What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, I don't know.
And to all the
I don't know.
To all the Giants fans out there.
Yeah, you're gonna be okay.
I don't know if they will, though. I don't know if they will. But okay, so we got a call there, and it's obvious that the feeling right now in Giants land. If you listen to KNBR, you're getting this feeling as well. You're hearing it. You're hearing people talk about it. It's not positive, and it feels like we're out of it, right? However,
it's weird.
We're not.
It feels like that, but we're not. I mean, at this point, again, in 2010, we were further behind the Padres than we are against the Dodgers right now.
Yeah.
Granted, it took a 10-game losing streak, but I don't anticipate LA doing that.
No, it's not going to happen. But
before, so we got the wild card to hope for, and it's a one-game crapshoot. But what the hell, If that's what we need to deal with, that's what we need to deal with.
But how bad is the rest of the National League if the Giants are still in the hunt for not even just in the hunt, but actually in the lead for one of the two spots?
No, absolutely.
Playing as terribly as they played for an extended period of time. But it's hard to convince yourself that that's the mindset we should be taking right now, is one of still in it, we got this, keep fighting for it. Right? It almost feels like scrap everybody, give the young guys a chance. That's how it feels right now. And it's not actually reality. And I'm sure, the management, Bochy, is well aware of where they are in the standings. But as a Giants fan, it just, every time I look and I say, we would be in the playoffs right now, that makes no sense to me.
It makes no sense to me.
Watching this team play day in and day out.
Kuiper has it perfect.
Giants baseball, torture.
The torture was fun, though, at least, right? Because, we won most of the time. But right now, doesn't feel that way. All right, the other guy who's having some issues was, of course, Sanchez, who has moved back down to Fresno, and it's more concussion issues and needs a few weeks. The good news is Susac has been fine. I mean, he's not fantastic. We'd much rather have our Posey Sanchez battery over there, but really hoping that this concussion issues are just a run of bad luck here for the Giants, and they're going to stop, because it's really frustrating to watch guys go down for bizarre stuff like that.
The concussion thing is crazy. I mean, how many times have we heard Sanchez getting hit with a ball. I mean, and now in his rehab stint, he's been hit twice in Fresno. And this is insane. I mean, this is getting scary, scary, scary stuff. I mean, I'm surprised Posey hasn't had this problem with how many more innings he's caught than Sanchez. Sanchez just seems to have just a spat of bad luck or a soft melon or a bad helmet. I don't know, but it's getting pretty bad.
I mean, I've seen Posey take some pretty hard knocks off the helmet, but yeah, Sanchez seems to have he's a magnet for it. And I don't know what you can really do to actually protect catchers. I don't know if there's some sort of better gear they can wear that would even improve on what they wear now. It seems to me like it's just par for the course. It's just what's going to happen to these guys. And obviously, some guys just are going to get it worse than others just on straight up luck.
Well, we got another call coming in. You want to take it?
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
All right, straight up.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to TortureCast.
Hey guys, it's Ben.
Hey, what up, dude?
Ben.
Hey. I'm walking home in a crowd of dejected people from the park. It's awesome. How are you guys doing? How's the live show?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's better. We're doing better than you probably because we just are dejected at home in the
Why do you
comfort
get
of our
called
chair.
in?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm in the comfort of my own home with a beer here. It's I don't have to do the long walk of shame. So.
No.
I just want to know if the booze were as loud from the TV as they were in the stadium, because I mean, I'll tell you, they were real loud from where I was.
Really?
Yeah, I had the volume kind of turned down, so I didn't pick up on that at all.
Where were you sitting tonight, Ben?
Well, I spent part of the game in the Gotham Club.
Ah, you would. That's what we were talking about.
All right.
Pretty ridiculously awesome. I'll definitely try and tell you guys about that next time I'm back on the show, hopefully next week. But I spent the rest of the game just off of home plate, just in standing room, right near the Gilroy Garlic Fries. So I had a pretty good view of a lot of the stuff that went on. And yeah, I mean, you knew almost right away with that pitch to Posey. You just kind of squinted and went, well, that's not. And then it was better when they did the replay on Comcast and showed roughly the same pitch to the other side of the plate, a couple of innings before, and just same spot on the other side of the plate, and it was a ball. But for our guys, it was like you could just hear a really frustrated fan base just kind of rise up as one, and those were some of the loudest boos I have ever heard at the stadium, and I've been around for a lot of booing at the stadium.
Yeah,
it was impressive, man.
Wow. It was an odd game all around. I mean, you had obviously the errors and all that stuff too, but yeah, I don't think we got helped by the umpires tonight either. But gotta say, the Giants,
I mean, they really shot themselves in the foot in the first couple of innings. It's just that once you're already down and you've sort of had a couple of fighting chances to get back, and there have been some flashes here and there, and then you start getting dropped by the ump multiple times. I mean, the Posey one is really what pushed everybody over the edge, but it was not the first time that you heard any really loud boos through the stadium. There had been a couple of ball and strike calls, a couple of other calls, and the one that resulted in the replay. People were already kind of frustrated with Doug Eddings, and honestly, it's hard to think that it was really his best game. When Jim Joyce has to step in for you twice, you're proven wrong by a replay once, and just some of those balls and strikes look really questionable. It's not impressed.
Yeah, it's like getting kicked while you're down, right? The Giants are already struggling just as is, and then it just feels like, well, what do we have to do here? So, yeah.
Hey, we got to see Matt Duffy go into a game, right?
Hey, there you go. Yeah, and then Panik hit a couple loud balls.
A little bit.
It's true. Got to watch PV get fired up. That was cool.
We got to watch an Andrew Susak home run. I mean, that was pretty spectacular. That was just right at dead center. That's easily like 405, 410 feet. I mean, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's not an easy place to hit out, and especially in that ballpark, especially on a night game. So.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, bummer that you had to go watch that debacle. But right now, Giants baseball, it's not torture; it is a debacle, pretty much, in almost every situation.
It's at times it is certainly pretty debacle-y. I mean, it's funny because you feel like this team is turning around a little bit, and then they'll do something like yesterday's game, and then they'll do something like today's game, which doesn't look as bad as yesterday's game on paper, but it's still pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where like we'll get something firing, we like get a little bit of offense going, and the bullpen implodes, and then tonight the bullpen kind of clamps down, but the defense implodes or the umpire implodes. I don't know, but it's this is kind of we're moving from a team that can't do anything into a team that can't get all the parts working at the same time, which is either progress or just like a lot more painful than before. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So Ben, in the Gotham Club, did you go have a game of bowl, as the hip kids say?
Here's the deal about the Gotham Club. The area where you can eat and get drinks and all that is, it's along the right field wall where the manual scoreboard is. So you get a really nice view of the field. I got a couple of neat photos. It's like, hey, look, there's Hunter Pence right there. A couple of guys kept trying to yell at him through the scoreboard. The scoreboard attendants did not really like that. But the game room is actually on the other side of the park, and so we didn't end up having time to make it all the way over there. You got to get all the way around to the other side, and then take an elevator, and then turn a corner, and it's a whole other sojourn. And we kind of hung around the right field area for a while because it's a nice view of the game, and I had myself a drink. We had a little bit of food, $13 BLT. I mean.
What a bargain.
It was a pretty good BLT. I don't know if it was a $13 BLT, but it was a pretty good one. Don't get me wrong. But I didn't end up going up and doing any bowling. It just, at that point, the game was still close enough that it was a good time to kind of perch somewhere and watch it. Pick up the same SRO spot that I watched, the old NLCS Game 3 in 2010, and without all the luck that I had watching that one. Yeah.
So if you're there for the baseball, you stay in that section, and if you're there for the bowling and the pool and whatnot, you go to the other spot. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, and I mean,
spots.
And without having been there, I don't know how much you can actually see out of it. So it was like, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, there were TVs everywhere. So even though seeing through the scoreboard wasn't perfect, you're leaning around leaning around the names of the teams and their scores, but they had TVs posted up all over the place, so you could still be able to watch. But a lot of people were still trying to angle themselves to be able to look out and see the game, which is nice because when you get a spot like the club put in, it's not like with the suites where you kind of don't always know if it's people going that are really interested in the game. With the Gotham Club, it's usually people that are season ticket holders and that are definitely very interested in the team. And so a lot of them that showed up were really trying to still watch the game. And there was a lot of really loud clapping when stuff would come up, even though people could barely see what's going on off the TV. So it's a nice experience. It's a little bit like being in a really classy sports bar that's in the stadium, but not quite. It's not quite that either. So I don't know.
Interesting.
It was a really neat experience, though, and if anybody ever gets lucky enough to be able to do it, I definitely recommend it. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll probably see it during a stadium tour or something. So
we'll find our way in there. Thanks for calling in, Ben.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, looking forward to having you back on the show soon, man.
All righty.
All right, brother. So Ben from the stadium, or from just outside the stadium, but yeah, he got to experience something not very many fans have, and that's checking out the Gotham Club. So good on him. At least he got to do that tonight, So
yeah, this is kind of cool, getting live call-ins from the stadium after.
Yeah, after
a little
the game.
Embedded reporting here.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about. I don't know. Do we need to talk about tonight's game at all anymore? We kind of know what happened. That was just
come on. Let's go drink till we can't feel feelings anymore.
Exactly. That's what I would prefer to do. All right. So the playoff race looks like this: 4.5 games back of LA. A full game, or at least we were a full game. Now we're half a game up on Atlanta. Correct? Did
they have an off night tonight?
I believe so. At least that's what it still shows at this time. But obviously, it may not have updated. So again, like we said earlier, so a half game up right now on Atlanta. It looks like they did lose tonight, so we started the game a half game. Oh no, they had an off night. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a half game now.
Yeah, they're playing the Mets. We're playing the Rockies. So I don't know. Both teams are supposed to win, right, against these teams. So we'll see. We'll see how things go.
It's crazy to look at their record right now, 68 and 62. That's 6 games above 500 when we were 21 games above 500. I mean, think about that. The Giants have been 15 games under 500 since their high water mark in late June. I mean, that's
42 and 21.
And that's, I think, what's really adding to our sense of this team may not go anywhere.
The impending sense of doom.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we would feel much. Well, look, they could have the exact same record, but if they're over their last 60 whatever games, they were 42 and 21. We'd be sitting here going, "Oh man, they're on a hot streak." they're going to make the playoffs, no doubt about it, because they would have been, 15 games under 500.
15 games under 500, and then pull within a
and
half
then go
game
6
up
games over
on the-
500.
yeah,
And then be a
exactly.
half game in the wild card. We'd be singing their praises right now. We'd be like,
Yeah,
holy
so-
shit, this team is on fire right now.
Yep. Yeah, but I mean, the memory in the baseball season is very short because it's so
what have
long.
you done for me lately?
Yeah, the season's so long. It's you know about how it's been going for the last couple weeks here, and it's now we're moving on 2.5 months of just pretty bad play.
Yeah,
so.
and I guess the Dodgers had an off night tonight, so yeah, it's a full 5 games behind the Dodgers right now.
So if you look at the Atlanta Braves, they're also kind of treading water, only 5 games over 500. So I would figure we still have to keep some pace with that. We're not going to be able to play. We're going to have to play. Probably going to have to win at least 5 more games than we lose, maybe going the rest of the way, or 4 more games than we lose, something like that.
It's got to be.
It's
more
close. It's close. But if we're if we're half game up on them now, so I'm just talking about wild card. But
Yeah.
if we want to take a swing at the division race, then we need to go almost perfect the rest of
the team with the least amount of wins that has made the wild card. Now I know this is again only a few years. The new wild card has been in place, has been 88.
Okay.
And that was St. Louis back in 2011. And they actually ended up winning the World Series that year.
Yeah. That means 20 wins.
They are the only World Series champion. They are the World Series champion with the fewest wins in the regular season in Major League history, aside from the 154 game season. But I mean by winning percentage also, they have the fewest wins for a World Series champion. Most of the wild card, if you look back at the previous few years, I can bring them up here. It's pretty amazing. Like 2013.
So you're talking a 20-12 record then the rest of the way. 32 games
no,
remaining.
22-10.
22-10
to get to 90. To get to 88. Yes.
88, yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Last year's wild card winners for the American League had 92 wins each. Texas had 91 wins and missed out. In the National League, you had Pittsburgh with 94 wins and Cincinnati with 90. The Nats missed out at 86. So there you go. Last year, the lowest number was 90, although technically 87 would have gotten it in the National League, right? Because Washington had 86.
Well, I got to say that while those numbers might have been correct previously, I can't quite imagine that's exactly how it's going to go now because you're talking a 625 winning percentage the rest of the way to do the 88 thing.
Right.
Which would basically mean the best team in baseball, right? Better than the best.
No, I'm just going off of like where. I mean, look, we have St. Louis, the Giants, St. Louis, Pittsburgh, and Atlanta kind of all fighting. Miami's kind of lingering, right? One of those 5 teams. One of those 5 teams is going to get hot. I think that's a guarantee. I mean, that's just the numbers and just the random nature of baseball.
But do you think 625 hot though? That's like really hot.
I really do think that at least one of those 5 teams is going to get to at least 89 wins.
Okay.
If not 90. Okay. I mean, because history. I mean, again, short history. So 2012 American League, both wild card winners had 93 wins.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay missed at 90. In the National League, that's where you had St. Louis at 88. And LA was just missed at 86. And then I think 2011, wasn't that the first year of the wild card? No, it's 2012, right? So yeah, we're talking about we have 3 years or 2 years of the expanded wild card right now. So I mean, it's possible at 87, 88 if everybody kind of plays mediocre ball. But even at 87 wins, I mean, like you just said, they got to go 20-12 or whatever to get to 88.
Get to 88, yeah.
I mean, look. There's 6 games over 500 for the entire year. You're talking about going 8 games over 500 the rest of the way.
Yeah.
That's a tall order, man. And that doesn't even guarantee a spot because if one of those other 5 teams plays a little bit better and gets to 89 or 90, then the Giants are out. So
yeah. So it's looking tough right now.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we can move past Armchair Manager. I think we're fine. We brought up a couple other things. Let's tweet at me, bro.
Tweet at me, bro.
So you got one here.
Wait. I'm very professional here.
I can tell.
Dude. Tweet at me, bruh.
That's horrible.
We'll work on those. We'll get him
Yeah,
going.
that was really bad. I had to play it though. So yeah, I saw a tweet from @Chris Bluestein. Hunter Pence won the Ice Bucket Challenge. Hunter Pence signs. I love this thing, man. This has been gaining traction. I know it's going to die out, but I think it kind of ties into not only the Hunter Pence thing, which we all love these signs. I mean, in fact, we should hold some sort of challenge here for TortureCast. You know, come up with the best Hunter Pence
sign. Yeah.
Yeah, give
I
away
saw a bunch
something.
of really good ones on Reddit earlier because someone had posted and actually made to the front page, and it was back when Hunter Pence and Pablo did their handshake where they ended up dancing at the end.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Yeah. So that got posted, and that wasn't even in RSF Giants. That was just in R Funny. So somebody found that and found it amusing and posted it in there.
Hunter Pence is just amazing.
Yeah, there's some pretty good ones in there. I did not see his Ice Bucket Challenge. Did he do one?
Actually,
I saw the
don't
Giants
know if he did or
collective
not.
one. Oh, okay. I saw the Giants front office collective one. I saw Bochy did one. Bonds did one. A bunch of people. You did one. I did one. I actually challenged you. So.
And that was damn cold, by the way.
Yeah, you did it right, like we did. I did mine in the backyard over some plants. You did yours over dry grass.
Yeah, I did over dry grass.
Everybody was bitching and moaning about the drought stuff. You guys can settle down. It's fine. ALS is making a killing right now, and it's ALSA.org, which is actually, if you look at, there's a lot of charities out there where when you look at them and you think, how much of this money is going to the executives who run the damn thing, right? Well, ALSA.org actually got recognized as one of the charities that actually utilizes their money in a really good way, and the cause was, it's something that's not necessary. Some people bitch and moan about, why don't we do this for cancer? And it's like, there's a lot of awareness about cancer, and it's not like I don't think that people should be donating money to cancer research too. And I don't believe that money to ALS takes away from money to cancer. I just don't believe in that. That's some people that argument too.
I don't want to get too serious, but I do have to say this. Obviously, ALS is also known as Lou Gehrig's disease.
Yeah.
So it already has a baseball motif to it. I mean, the disease is named after one of the greatest baseball players of all time that was afflicted by this disease. But this whole Ice Bucket Challenge was actually started related to baseball. There was this tremendous Boston College baseball player back in 2007, 2008. Pardon me, I can't remember his first name, but his last name is Frates, Frates. And he was diagnosed with ALS a few years ago. And it's incredible to see these videos of him just 5, 6, 7 years ago in a Boston College uniform, hitting home runs, going 5 for 5. I mean, he was a really good player. He was an outfielder. And he grew up a Boston Red Sox fan. And one of his dreams came true when they had a Boston College baseball game at Fenway Park. And that game he went 4 for 4 with a home run into the bullpen. I mean, he just lived his dream. He was maybe on track for a minor league contract. And then of course the disease hit him. It was, I believe, his brother that actually started this challenge. They say that the feeling of ice water being dumped on you, how it freezes you, it feels like electricity going through your body, is what ALS patients feel every second of every day. And that's kind of where that started. And he promoted it in a few Boston area. People picked it up. Boston College did, the New England Patriots. And then it just spread like wildfire from there. And of course, we've seen all the celebrities and sports people doing it, and even you and I have done it. So there's definitely, the Ice Bucket Challenge has the baseball motif still running through it. But what's even more amazing to me personally, anyway, is the day after you challenged me, I was at work and I was gonna go home and set up the ice buckets with my kids, and I donated to ALSA.org. And it was totally serendipitous, but I had found out through Facebook on my old fraternity page that one of my old fraternity buddies has been living with ALS for 5 years.
Oh my God.
And I had no idea.
Wow.
And he just turned 40 in May, so he's just 6 months younger than me. and he was a big guy. He was a football player, big dude. He just crushed us in football all the time. Great guy, outdrank us, real fun party animal. We called him Big Perm because he looked like Big Perm, basically.
Uh-huh.
And to see pictures of him on Facebook most recently, I mean, he's thin and gaunt. He's lost all that weight. Of course, he's wasted away, and he's in a wheelchair. He's lost the ability to speak. And he checks his email every day, and he has one of those computer-assisted eye movement recognition software things, so he can still respond to people in email and Facebook and all that. And he has several grown children. One just graduated college. The other one is in college right now. And he stated just, I guess it was a year ago, I saw on his Facebook page that the only goal in life he has now is to live until both of his kids graduate college. And I just really hit home, man. Yeah. And when you challenged me, I was like, oh, definitely, this is a worthy cause, no problem. I'm going to do this. I'm going to donate. And in between that and then actually doing the challenge, and I found all this information out, it meant so much more to me.
Yeah.
So much more to me.
It's why I had no idea. I just basically I just challenged all my podcast cohorts, and you being one of them. So I kind of figured Scott Johnson had challenged me, so I passed on to the rest of my podcasting circle. That's quite a story, man, and that's the thing is I think there's a lack of awareness about it, and so a lot of people. It's like the cool thing was to do it. Now the cool thing is to bitch about it. But when you think about the people that this could potentially be helping, I can't understand why you could find a reason to bitch about something that's actually raising money to try to help people. It's just, to me, it's just crazy.
No, the PC part of it, and look, I'm a bleeding liberal, but the PC part of it has gotten out of control with the whole water waste thing. But hey, look,
it's a literal drop in the bucket, and I understand, and we should still be as conservational as we can when it comes to water usage, but a bucket of water over your head is not.
That's less than a shower, people.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
That's less than the water required to produce a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I mean,
you do this constantly. Every single day you get into the shower, and whether you've been keeping them to under 5 minutes or not, you're dumping multiple buckets of water over your head during a 5-minute shower. So
yeah. I mean,
settle down, everybody.
If you do the ALS bucket challenge, don't take a shower for a day, and you're in the black.
And you're actually helping. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you could do that too. The ALS plus a no shower for one day.
By the way, I didn't take a shower today, so.
There you go. Look, you're doing your part.
Glad
Chad.
This isn't smell-o-vision. So.
Good job, buddy. All right. Well, I appreciated you doing it. I don't think Garrett or Jocelyn took me up on the offer, but I was glad to see you do it and turn it into a little thing with your kids there. And
yeah,
and it was your video was great, man. So good job. And let's move on. Let's talk about new favorite guys. I actually don't have one written down, but I know who mine is right now, and it's definitely Hunter Pence. Hunter Pence threw out a guy to play tonight.
Yeah.
He bats in whatever spot of the order makes the most sense depending on who's hurt at any given moment. The guy never misses a game. We got to give it to this guy. We need to play for this guy because he stayed here. He took a contract to be a Giant for 5 years. He wants to be here. I want him to have the best San Francisco Giants career possible, and I hope that just means lots of trips to the playoffs. So he deserves it. He plays hard enough that if he could win a game single-handedly, he would have and has done so many times. But anyway, my new favorite guy and probably perpetually my favorite guy is Hunter Pence.
I was gonna say, I mean, we were calling for the Giants to sign Hunter Pence. I keep saying Hunter Pence.
Hunter Pence.
I've got like a little accent going. Hunter Pence. Years ago. We knew we wanted this guy. We knew that he had the heart and the desire and the will to be that motivator for the Giants. And obviously it completely worked out in 2012, and we're just looking back on history now. But my favorite player of all time is definitely Will Clark.
Uh-huh.
But man, Hunter Pence is creeping up, man. I got to tell you. Tell you. I mean, I have nothing but respect.
It's tough not to love this guy.
It's not only for the way he plays the game, but the way he just addresses people. He's just kind of a normal guy, and he's a gamer, and just, I don't know, there's just something that exudes about him that just doesn't say, I'm a prima donna, egotistical. He's making millions of dollars.
Yeah, he's one of the best players in the game.
Yeah, he's a complete sports
By all
celebrity.
rights, he could totally be a douchebag if he wanted to be.
He's like the
and he's just not.
Bonds.
Right? Yeah.
You know? So
Everything Barry Bonds never was. Although, whatever. Barry Bonds was the greatest hitter of our
and that
generation and
angelic,
maybe all time.
I
Whatever.
love that Jesus pose he had with Michael Morse. That was just
Oh,
a
yeah.
thing of beauty. Oh my God.
The
Did you see the
bromance
Photoshop
is
jobs
so
on that?
real. No, I haven't seen them all, but
Oh
I've
my
seen a
God.
couple.
Because the first time I saw that, I was like, that's like that Jesus reflective pose, right? Where he's like kind of looking off into the side or whatever. And sure enough, plenty of people went into Photoshop. I mean, really skilled people. And they were putting his face on that Jesus portrait. And I'm like, holy shit. I wasn't the only one thinking that.
Yeah.
So
he's got the scruffy beard going and everything too. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hunter Pence in perpetuity, my favorite Giant for right now.
All right, so I'm going to go with Joe Panik because, the Rook has been just hot in August. I know he had a bad game tonight, so this is kind of written before then, but he, coming into tonight, was hitting 400 for August. He's made some stellar defensive plays. He got his first Major League home run in Washington, so he has that ball, by the way. So I think he's just been a great fit into that second base slot where the Giants really have been needing some spark, something to happen, and he's definitely given the Giants a few wins this month. My only concern, of course, is the rest of the stretch here. We got 6 weeks left. He's unproven, but right now he's the best option we've got, and he's doing his part. He's hitting over 300 since he's been up.
Yeah, and he's been like the only shining bright moment brining. I said
he's brining. He's a little salty.
Yeah, he's brining, dude.
He's salty.
But no, he's been the only bright shining star at second base all season. We've had zero luck at that position, and finally somebody's come in and actually played decently well. Not even decently well, really well. So good to see him. We were excited about his name when we drafted him, and this wasn't. We didn't expect him to be here this quick. But out of necessity, here he is, and he's making the most of it. So, good pick. Good pick. All
necessity is the mother of fucked up second baseman.
Yep. I'm just gonna piggyback on your hate this guy because I like it, and I can't come up with anything else. Otherwise, I guess I could talk about the umpiring crew out of several of the last week's games, but no, nobody pissed me off more than the Nats this last week. That was a rough series. It felt like we got swept, even though we won a game, right?
But it was the first game, man. It was the first game, and then you got second game, and Timmy just fucking blows it up. Yeah. And then you got game number 3. You got a 6-2 lead heading into the 6th inning. Vogie gives up a bomb to Desmond to lead off the inning. He's at 93 pitches, and Bochy pulls him. And I'm not saying it's the incorrect call. I'm not going to say that because, he was hit hard. He had one inning. Actually, what was funny is that was only the 4th hit he gave up all game. The previous 3 hits were 3 doubles, all in the same inning, which is why they got 2 runs back in the 3rd, I believe. He had a perfect game through – no, the 4th inning. He had a perfect game through 3. And then in the 4th inning, he hit 3 doubles, got 2 runs. And then in the 6th inning, he gives up a leadoff home run to Desmond. He was at 93 pitches. Bochy pulls him right away. And hindsight is 2020. We're all the armchair quarterbacks or armchair managers here, but
yeah,
Affelt, he had a 1.97 ERA coming in.
Affelt's been solid.
Yeah, he's pitched 2 innings the entire road trip. He was rested. He was the right call. I don't blame Bochy for doing that, but
nobody can sit here and say that we should have foreseen 9 straight hits or 9 straight runners reaching base.
Yeah, if Vogelsong had stayed in, the same thing. Well, no, that wouldn't happen. But they could have absolutely scored a few more runs and still made it a game, and they still could have lost. But what happened. It's baseball. But it's just one of those games that you felt like you had, and they should have had. And then going into tonight, yesterday they lose after leading 6-2 in the 6th. Tonight they lose because they had 4 errors and 2 unearned runs. They lose by 1. That's 2 games right there. These are the little things, man. The little things that are going to kill them. If they miss out on the wild card or the West, but most likely the wild card, by 1 or 2 games, this is what we're going to look back on. We're going to look back at the 3-game sweep to Colorado back in July or June, whatever it was. We're going to look back at 4 errors in this game. We're going to look back at the 6-2 lead in the 6th. It's all these little things that baseball is a game of inches, and it's a game of just 1 or 2 wins. to get you in the playoffs, and that's what's going to bite us in the ass. And the Giants got to correct for this, man.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not even going to say that I think that they were stealing signs, because obviously some stuff looks suspect, but for them to just suddenly go, ripping and running through that inning, so what? Were they were only stealing signs when Affeldt was pitching? That just doesn't make a lot of sense.
No,
so
that's why it's not confirmed or whatever. Even if it was, whatever, like we talked about earlier, the Giants have to do a better job of protecting their signs. So
when you lose that badly, though, it's always going to come. Something's going to come up that you're going to try to blame it on, besides the fact that you just had a terrible game, just a terrible, bad game. So Affeldt. What's funny is his ERA is still pretty decent for the season, right? It's like
it went up to 2.7 something, and then he pitched tonight and didn't allow a run, so I'm sure it's like 2.6 or whatever.
Exactly. He looks steady if you look at an entire season, but whatever. It's that's the life of a reliever. I mean, it doesn't really matter what your ERA is. It matters what you do. I mean, obviously it matters at some level, but it really just matters how do you keep your team in the game when you come in. Do you exit with your team still in the lead? And that's what being a reliever is all about. And sometimes you're gonna have to forget a game. Affeldt's gonna have to forget that one. He's a veteran, so not overly concerned. Affeldt's had a long, continued stretch of good pitching for the Giants. Obviously, some weird freak accidents. We all know the stories behind those, but he's one of the guys that I generally feel okay with. And I thought it was the right move putting him in there. Didn't work out. All right.
All right. So I'm just gonna go out in the hallway and throw up about something else.
Why are we going to win it all, Chad? Why?
If we steal everyone else's signs.
Okay. So, if you can't beat them, do the thing they did. To beat us.
We could use an inning where we get 9 Giants on
I'll
base
go
in a
for
row.
9 straight run. Yeah, go for 9 straight guys getting on base. Let's do it.
We can't even get 2 on in a row.
Yeah. All right, so I think we're going to win it all, because I think someone's going to step up besides right now the cast of characters, which is basically Pablo and Pence. And Morse for a little while, and now he's kind of come back to earth a little bit, but we just need some of the other guys who are supposed to be there. We need the Posies and the Pagans and stuff to be doing what they're supposed to be doing, and right now it's just too inconsistent. It's one guy maybe this day, but nobody else, and it's one guy this day, but nobody else. And we just need we need a few guys to just get 2 hits in a game, not one guy to go for 4 for 4 and everyone else to go 0 for whatever. We need the entire lineup to be hitting somewhat consistently up and down. And it just feels like we haven't had it at all. Even at the beginning of the year when we were winning, it was like the every other day, like it was different hero every night kind of thing. It was odd. We still at that point felt like we hadn't put it all together, but somehow we were still winning. And it's just over 162 games, we have to have one good stretch of baseball where it's actually the team playing the way it's supposed to play, not just BABIP and getting lucky like apparently it was early on. So, anyway.
I mean, this is kind of proof that maybe it was. There was a lot of
maybe
and Magic Wandu and all that shit.
Sure, no, absolutely. So. I mean, there's obviously going to be some aspects of that at any given moment throughout a season, but I don't think it was 100% that. I think also we had some really key injuries happen. It was a collection of things that turned the season from 42 and 21 to 6 games over 500. So we got to get that magic back. So we got to do. All right, well that's gonna do it for the first live ever episode. We had a couple call-ins. I want to thank everybody who did call in. We had Ben and we had Michael call in. That was cool. We're gonna be able to take call-ins pretty much any time now on the show. So even if you did not get a chance to call in tonight, you will be able to call in almost every time we record at this point. We've got it kind of set up here, and we've had the trial run now. We saw the things that we shouldn't do. We lost the stream there for a second.
I was going to say, I do apologize because we actually had about a dozen viewers at the beginning of our show, and unfortunately I majorly foobarred a button and
cool.
killed the stream, and when I restarted it was under a different URL. I couldn't go back to the old URL the way it works. So
so we'll get that out.
I won't do that again.
That settled. Yeah.
But
and we'll get some more sound effects going, and we'll get some more bumpers and all that, and we've got the technology settling in. So thank everybody who did join us live. If you do want to call in the future, it will always be the same number, 415-799-SFG1. So you can give us a call, talk to us here, and of course we record Monday nights, so put that on your calendar and come hang out with us. Give us a call, participate in the show. It'd be great. Hopefully the next time we talk, the Giants are doing a little better. We'll see. But until then, if you guys want to follow us, you can collectively follow all of TortureCast at TortureCast on Twitter. You can also follow each one of us individually. Chad is at ChadK21. Ben is at Fried Duck, and I am at Willie Dills. You can also find our blog on TortureCast.com. You can listen to us on Stitcher, like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on iTunes, do all the things, keep up with us and everything going on in the TortureCast world, and, of course, the San Francisco Giants. For Chad King, for Ben Lee, who called in, my name is Willie Dills, and we'll see you guys for episode number 69. That'll be next week. All right. A-boom. A big thank you to everybody for listening to the TortureCast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. Follow us on Twitter at TortureCast. You can also like us on Facebook or check out our blog at TortureCast.com. I also want to say thank you to Ashcon and Bailey for letting us use their song Feeling Like a Giant for our intro. For Ben Lee and Chad King, my name is Willie Dills, saying we'll see you next time.